So welcome back everybody to our sixth session of Get to Know Galway. You're very welcome if it's your first time, and welcome back to everyone who's been here each week. So we've got a lovely group of speakers here today, and first I'm going to introduce Anya McLaughlin, and Anya is the marketing manager at Aran Island Ferries. So I'm just going to invite Anya there to share her screen so she can show you her presentation. And just if you can mute yourselves, everybody there, just while Anya is speaking.
That's perfect now. Can everybody
Thanks, Anya.
hear me?
Yeah, can see you there. Yeah.
That's lovely. And you can hear me as well?
We can hear you perfectly.
Okay, brilliant. Well, thanks so much for your time today. As Rose said, I'm the marketing manager for Aran Island Ferries. And I honestly feel like I have the best job in the world. I don't see what could possibly beat being on a ferry, breathing in the fresh sea air and being completely immersed in the Galway Bay landscape. So I'm really looking forward to talking about our current departures from Russellville. So as you may know, we sail year round from Russellville to all of the Aran Islands. And you may have also heard that we'll be launching a new route in June from Galway City to Inishmore and the Cliffs of Moher. So this is a complete first, but there's a huge amount of excitement in the company, and I'm really looking forward to sharing some more details on that with you today. So just to give you a bit of context on where we're based and where we sail to, you can see Galway City in the map there. So we have 2 offices based there, and Russellville is about 37 kilometers from our office. So if you drive, that translates to about a 50-minute drive. If you do have a car, there's parking at the pier, but if you don't worry whatsoever, because we have a shuttle bus departing daily from Galway City. So as you can see, there are 3 islands. You've got Inishmore, meaning Big Island, Inishmaan, meaning Middle Island, and Inishere, meaning East Island. So I'm just going to focus on Inishmore today. It's where we bring the majority of our passengers. So we are the only passenger company sailing year-round to all 3 of the Aran Islands. And why is that the case? Well, it's because we operate on the biggest boats, and we also depart from the most sheltered harbour. So that really means that we get to sail year-round, and more importantly, that means minimal cancellations. So what's important to know is we've got bar service and light refreshments on each of our ferries. And I'm not sure if you've heard about our latest ferry that joined the fleet in November, but this is Saois na Farraige at the bottom. So this is the largest ferry in Ireland, and it has a capacity of 400. It's also the most environmentally friendly ferry in Ireland with the lowest emissions, which are tier 4. So Saois na Farraige also comes with bar service, wheelchair access, plasma screens, charging points, and it's good to note that all of our ferries are actually available for private charter. So if you want to rent out one of the ferries for the day, if you've got a group and you want to give them some VIP treatment, well then you can totally rent a private charter with one of our ferries. So as I mentioned, we depart year-round from Russellville. The average sailing time is about 40 minutes, and we typically sail to each island about twice a day, but this can increase to 4 times during the summer months, and we depart at 10 a.m. daily. Our public price is €30 for an adult, and it's 25 for a student and a senior, and 15 for a child. We do FIT and group rates for all of our ferries. And of course, we are launching our new service from Galway City in June. So I'm going to tell you more about that now. So as I said, brand new route, huge excitement within the company at the moment. We're really looking forward to getting started. And we will be departing from Galway City docks at 9:30 a.m. daily. So this is a seasonal departure. Right now we have sailing scheduled from May to August. And it's going to be a 90-minute sailing to Inishmore. So there'll be audio guide available to download. And this audio guide will really build huge excitement and anticipation on the ferries. It's going to teach you about the first islanders, the different attractions on the island, the prehistoric forts, and people are it's really going to pique curiosity, and people are going to be really excited when they land on Inishmore. So passengers will get 4.5 hours on Inishmore to explore the island before we pick them up and bring them on a cruise along the cliffs of Moher. And finally, we'll bring passengers back to Galway City at 6 p.m. So this is the only tour that will be sailing direct from Galway City. So we're especially excited about this. And adult prices are 49, senior and student prices are 44, and child is 25. And again, like our Russellville departure, we will also have group and FIT rates for all of these prices. So why the Aran Islands? Well, ultimately, these are islands of stories, and maybe you've been to Inishmore before, but it's about 9 miles in length and 3 miles in width, and there are 4 prehistoric forts on this island alone. So pretty much every corner you turn, there's a remnant of history, there's a story to tell. And that's why we carry lots of school groups, educational tours, and a lot of Irish people alone, they come to the Aran Islands to really explore Irish history. Personally, my favorite thing about the Aran Islands is the sense of cultural integrity that the islanders have. You can tell that they are so proud of their culture. They're so proud of the traditions which have shaped them. And a good example of this is if you were to walk into a knitwear factory, and you can still see some of the women of Aran knitting the Aran sweaters as they did for their husband years ago while they were going out fishing. And obviously the Aran sweater today is an iconic symbol. It can be seen on the catwalk, and it's a huge credit to the women of Aran, their creativity, their inventiveness to create such a thing. So overall, it's a huge learning experience. People are simply fascinated by the history of the islands, and there's a level of tranquility that you'll find on the Aran Islands that is truly hard to match. Other activities on Inishmore, well, you can rent a bike if you like. You can avail of a minibus tour, which will bring you around the most popular attractions on the island. You've got Aran Off the Road experience, where 2 brothers will bring you around in their Land Rover on the roads that are less traveled. You've got the Aran Food Tour, where you can learn how seaweed and goat's cheese is produced and manufactured before trying it yourself. Lots of water sport activities, and of course pubs and restaurants. So there is something for everyone when you head out to the Aran Islands, and it really depends on what you're looking for. The products are all there. Why Aran Island Ferries? The choice and convenience of it all. Like we are really proud of the fact that we will be departing from Galway City, that we currently depart from Connemara, that people who sail with us can experience the vibrancy of Galway City. They can meet the friendly people. They can see the beautiful rugged coast of Connemara and experience the local culture there. We are really proud of that. And that is essentially part of our offering. People will come to us and say, you know, I loved, one of my favorite parts of traveling with you was my journey to Connemara. And it's fabulous when we can hear that people truly enjoy the journey as much as they enjoy the destination. And we're really looking forward to departing from Galway City this year and having more people experience the beauty of Galway and Connemara. So we've got year-round and seasonal departures. And because we depart from a sheltered harbour and we sail on the biggest ferries, again, it's really important to note that we have minimal cancellations. It's very rare that we would ever have to cancel any of our sailings. It's not just ferry rates that we provide. We also take care of the shuttle bus from Galway City to our ferry terminal. We arrange bike hire on the island, we arrange minibus tours on the island, and we have FIT and group rates for all of those products. So simply reach out to us, tell us what you want to do, how you want to spend your day, and we can arrange all of that for you. And again, to reiterate, private charter as well. All of our ferries, the biggest ferries in Ireland, all equipped with bar service, are available for private charter if you want to treat any of your groups. So really appreciate your time today. Feel free to ask me any questions you may have. If not, feel free to send me an email.
Thank you, Anya. Excellent. And congratulations on your new ferry. It's wonderful news, not only for Galway, but actually for the country. It's such a big, huge investment and, you know, the largest passenger ferries in the country.
Yes.
And just having them from Galway City is going to be really something huge for all of us here. Where exactly at the docks do you depart from?
I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Port of Galway office.
Yes, yeah.
But it's literally just outside of that office.
Outside there. Okay, so very, very convenient. Okay, brilliant.
Absolutely, yes. And we hope to share a lot of this information on our website and provide exact departure points and the boarding process as soon as we have it. It's currently being compiled at the moment.
Great, great. Lots of lovely comments coming in here, Anya, from Steve. Great presentation. Looking forward to availing of your new venture to Inishmore. And from Monica, great presentation, Anya. Thanks. If anyone wants to ask Anya any particular questions, you can unmute yourself or just pop it in the question box. Don't be shy. I really like the fact, Anya, there that you mentioned, you know, it's not just the ferry crossing. You have all these extra services that really it's just so helpful, like, because you have the knowledge of the islands, you know, you can arrange the minibus hire or the bike hire, whatever the case might be. And some of you will remember we did have Gabriel from Aran Islands, Goat's Cheese, and we had Park from Aran Off-Roading Experience. So Anya mentioned those in her presentation, so that Inishmore is where the sailing goes to and where those activities are you can do, so you easily can fill your day bringing your group there. There's just a question here from Armand. Anya, thank you, Anya. If due to time limitations, would it be possible to go from Galway and return to Rossaville on another ferry? That's a great question.
Absolutely, absolutely, yes. You can get 2 single options. We're more than happy to accommodate that. And it's a lovely, you can experience sailing from Galway City and then come back through beautiful Connemara. So it's like doing a gorgeous Galway loop for the day.
Yeah, brilliant idea, Amanda. And the fact you're stopping, you know, getting that unique view from the sea of the cliffs of Moher is fantastic. So if you're under time pressure and it's something, you know, that needs to be included in a program or an itinerary, like this is another great way of doing it, and just seeing it from the sea.
Absolutely, yeah. And I forgot to mention, Rose, that we won't just be doing day trips as what I described in my presentation. There'll also be overnight tours. So you can sail from Galway to Inishmore, you can spend the night on Inishmore, and you can hop on the ferry the next day and sail back to Galway via the cliffs. We also do single options, so Galway to Inishmore and Inishmore back via the cliffs. But yeah, we're really looking forward to seeing the feedback we get this year. It's a brand new tour, and I'm sure there will be a couple of things we'll learn from the experience. But yeah, there's huge excitement within the company now, and June 4th is the launch date. It's just around the corner. So we hope to see as many Galwegians on board and visitors to the city who will just love to see, who have the convenience and have the choice of seeing 2 of the most celebrated attractions in Ireland in a day or an overnight tour, whatever you feel is right.
Great, Anya. Well, really well done. And it's lovely to hear from you. And I know you're really busy trying to market your new route. So I appreciate you coming here today and us getting this information firsthand and hot off the press. So the best of luck with the new route. And I'll definitely be trying it out this summer.
Lovely.
Thanks so much, Anya.
Thank you so much to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. So any other questions for Anya, you know, you can email her directly or pop any questions there in the question box and we can get her to answer them. So next I'm going to invite Eileen and Mary and Koch. We have a little trio here together, but first we're going to hear from Eileen and Mary, and just to give you a little bit of an explanation. So Eileen and Mary are from Horse Connect and they look after equine assisted wellness. I just think this is a really unique product from the perspective of team building, which they do there. And they do this on Koch's farm, a beautiful, stunning location just outside Moycullen. So if you're familiar with Moycullen, just head north from the cities. If you're heading to Connemara, 20 minutes, and then another 5 miles and you get to Koch's farm. So this is where Eileen and Mary work with their team building exercises. And Eileen I'm going to invite you to maybe share your screen if you want to show any images. And then we'll hear from Coach then shortly after, just to explain a bit more about what she does there on the farm and the programs that she offers. So welcome, Eileen.
Thank you. Yes, I'm hoping to answer this question, which is how horses can enhance your life and business. And then Coach will talk to you about her beautiful farm and location and facility. So I chose this photograph very deliberately because it almost is the question. The mirror is. So something really magical does happen when a typical 21st century person comes fully into the presence of a horse. It's because horses have been hardwired for millennia to notice subtle changes. So you may not think a horse notices you, but from the first time you're in their presence, they are picking up your body language. And as you get closer then, they can detect your heart rate and how your breathing is. And why they're so wonderful for this work is that they then can detect very subtle changes in any of those, act accordingly. And they act in the moment and live 100% in the now. So they connect to the essence of the person or the group, and that acts as a catalyst for change. And it's quite a powerful thing. It's important to say, first of all, that I didn't mean to use this picture twice. It wasn't that I was short of pictures or anything, but it's 100% ground-based, so nobody's going to be getting up on a horse. And you don't need to have any previous horse experience. And if you're absolutely terrified of horses, you can stay outside the fence and still get the same experience. There we go. Okay, so it's unique, fun, experiential, which is very, very important. Everybody gets their own experience, and highly effective. Pictures at Coach's farm, as you can see, that's Lara up there in the background. That's Coach's arena. This was a group of people from a local business. That's almost the whole staff, I think, were there that day. And they were tasked with, the horses represented their customers, and they were tasked with bringing the customers to the business that started out being represented by a square of poles in the ground. They then discovered that they needed to move the poles to the fence, and the fence represented the community. And they realized that they needed every single person on their team, and their team was from the CEO right down to the person doing the cleaning, to help get the customers to the business. So that picture speaks 1,000 words. But everyone assisted wellbeing and work and corporate development work is recognized globally. It is powerful and experiential. I think the key word there is experiential, and it does change limiting beliefs and behavioral patterns. So the advantages of it are really that there's freedom involved. Nobody is sitting in a boardroom looking at a PowerPoint. It's quite gentle because the focus is on the horses and not on any one particular person. So we will ask, what are the horses doing? Or have you seen that before? It's very, very powerful, very effective, definitely fun. There's always a lot of laughter in these sessions. It's really different. And also it is solution focused. So we look for solutions. Always we use appreciative inquiry. So we start from the good points of any group or business or individual and work from there. We're looking for potential. This is what it works for. And I also didn't mean to use this picture twice. It was a deliberate mistake, but it actually is a very telling picture. This was a group from the university, which is close by, and they were from the Philosophical Society, and they wanted to explore the area of wellness. So the structure in the middle represents their idea of wellness. And you can see from that picture that it's quite an inclusive exercise because there's somebody in a wheelchair there. So you don't have to be that physically fit or able to take part in this. So it promotes well-being, personal development. We do a lot of work with personal development groups. Leadership skills, very strong with leadership skills. You have to be able to communicate with each other to be able to get the horse to do anything you want to do. Planning and for problem solving. Great for team building. Sorry, my dog is about to bark. So it's live. Critical thinking again. Conflict resolution. Very powerful for conflict resolution. Clarity on anything, either personal or professional. And I've the dots after clarity because basically you can add anything in you want after that. So we design and deliver full day, half day or longer programs, workshops, courses and retreats, and each one is tailored to meet the specific needs of your group. So there is no one size fits all. This is who we are. We're Galway based. Horses Connect was co-founded and is run by me, Eileen and Mary, who's there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm here.
We're open since 2014. We're highly qualified and experienced areas of equine work. So we're both experienced horse people, we're coaches, we're therapeutic riding instructors, we're equine assisted learning facilitators, and we're advanced EGALA trained equine specialists. So we have training in personal development, we have academic qualifications, leadership skill qualifications, and mental health and well-being qualifications. So we're well and truly qualified and experienced. This is Curragh Farm that you're going to be hearing a lot more about from Coach. And we're very lucky to have this facility very close to us, about 20 minutes from us. There's an amazing big arena on the shores of Loch. And I think you can see from that arena, if you're scared of horses, you can stand outside the fence. There are lots of things in the arena that you can hide behind. And people often start off outside the fence or hiding behind something and very quickly get comfortable and realize that there's nothing to be afraid of. They forget all about their fears and get really engaged in what's happening. So Coach will speak to you about her beautiful, amazing farmhouse and her Connemara ponies in a minute. So this is how you can find us. We're horsesconnect.com, and there's more information there how you can phone us or email us. So Sinead, I'll go back to this picture because it's nice if you want to ask me any questions. Now that the dog stopped barking.
Thanks so much, Eileen. You had a little partner there joining in.
Apologies about that.
Don't worry at all. So it looks so interesting. Something unique experience to program if anyone's looking to do team building for their particular group. If anyone has a question for Eileen, you might want to mute yourself there, or you can pop a question into the question box.
Rose, can I just ask about the size of group? Is it limited? What number can Eileen and Mary deal with?
The largest group we've had so far is 24.
Okay.
But that arena is big enough that you could even take more than that. We've split them into smaller groups in the arena and then bring them together for different tasks. So the group size, that's probably 30 we come.
It's fascinating. It's so interesting.
Yes, yeah.
I'd love to see it in action.
Oh, well, come and see us.
Thanks, Aisling. Yeah, you'll definitely have to go and try it out here. So Vanna's saying, Eileen, I already feel relaxed just hearing about this and seeing the pictures of your lovely horses there. Monica saying, thank you, Eileen and Mary. Lovely experience and very unique. Yeah, it is indeed very unique. Anyone else got a question there for Eileen before we just go on to Coach? Oh, there's one here. Sorry, Amanda wants to know, how long should we plan? I think you're missing a line there, Amanda. Yeah, how long would the whole experience take, maybe, Eileen? Is it as long as you want? I said, we do half day?
Well, we'd either do a half day if it's a group. If it's an individual, we do an hour and a half. But for a group, you really need longer to get anything from it. So we would recommend a half day being the shortest, and then we can do full days or longer, depending on what you want.
Yeah, so really flexible there.
Yeah, flexible enough. Yeah.
Great. Okay, so anyone else just before we move to Coach? I think Eileen, so interesting. Thank you so much. And
you're welcome.
We'll be sharing your presentation on the website as well. So you're going to hang on for a few minutes until 11:30 anyway, if, in case anyone has any further questions. So if you want to stop sharing your screen, Eileen, just so Coach can then start sharing hers, and we'll just invite Coach now to share her screen. I'm just looking for you, Coach, there.
Okay. Now, can you see my screen there?
Perfect, yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead there.
I left my dogs outside, so hopefully you won't hear any barking. So my name is Coach Goley. I'm based in Connemara, just on the border of Connemara there in Micil. My farm is on the shores of Loch Corrib. So I started up these horse riding experiences. Basically, it's a horse riding and cultural trip offering in Connemara. So we start off in Micil and we hit the Wild Atlantic Way later on during our trip. So I'll just move on the slides here. I'm trying to move on the slides. Okay, so I don't know, can you see my mouse here at all?
We can, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we have the two airports, Dublin and Shannon, if it will still exist in a while. Our meetup point is Galway City for our trips, so I would collect our customers at Galway City on their minibus, and we travel to Connemara Equestrian Escapes, the base there at the farm on just outside of Micil. The first half of our trip is spent in the area of Micil. We offer lakeside and forest trail rides from there, and then later on in the week we move out towards the Clifton area for the second half of the week. It's probably a more scenic environment to be in. So let's see, this is me pre-COVID with shorter hair and probably less weight, and these are some of my ponies. So I would have been surrounded by ponies since as far as I can remember. I think the first Connemara pony I rode was when I was 3 years of age. I would have started breeding Connemara ponies a couple of decades ago, and I tried to refine the breed a little bit so that they're bred bigger than your traditional pony. So they would be in height, they would be over 15 hands, so that they're well capable of carrying adults, which would be my target market for these holidays. That's a picture of one of the ponies at sunrise on the lake. They're just outside the farm, so you typically see those sights if you can get up early enough in the morning to witness it. That's one of my ponies, Big John. As you can see, he's quite big. I'm about 5'5". That was us starring in a movie a couple of years ago. So the ponies themselves, they're noted for their super temperaments. They're very kind. They're very sure-footed. They're quite safe. They're part of my family basically, so I would consider them my kids, and most of them I would have bred, so I know them inside out. They can be quirky at times, but in a safe way and in a funny way. I'll move on to the cuisine. So we pride ourselves on the food offerings that we give to our customers. So that's an example of a nice crab salad fresh from the Wild Atlantic Way. These would be picnics, a sample of our picnics on the rides. Sometimes the horses join in on the picnics. That's just an image from one of our woodland picnics. You could see my other team members there, the Springer Spaniels. They tend to follow on a lot of the rides with us. So we cater for all age groups. I think the eldest rider we have had was 90 years of age, came from America, and she's been back. This isn't her, but she's a returning customer who tries to get back every year. Sorry about this now. We would offer beach rides further out in Connemara. So this is an image from Omey Island, and as you can see, the ponies are quite tall. These are all adults here riding the ponies. That's one of my ponies, Chips, looking lovingly at a nice dessert. So part of when I set up this business, the idea was not just to offer horse riding. I couldn't see the point in people coming all the way to Ireland to sit on a horse for 6 or 7 hours a day. I feel it's important that incoming tourists get to sample the culture of Connemara and the traditions that we have in Ireland. Yeah, so part of each day, so usually we would ride in the morning, weather permitting. Sometimes we may have to ride in the afternoon. But the other half of each day would involve hopping on the bus with me and visiting local tourist attractions. That's up in your castle. That's about a 1 hour tour, but I would normally try and fit in 2 or 3 tours a day. So people get a great exposure to the heritage and culture of Connemara. That's me and little Dara cutting at the bog, cutting some turf. We would visit a local attraction called Glengowla Mines. So we would get a history tour of the silver mines there. We visit some local stud farms. So that pony there is one of the stallions who would be the father of some of our ponies. So we'll try and introduce our clients to the parentage of the ponies that they ride. That's a sheepdog demonstration that we would visit normally on a Tuesday. So I try and give some business to as many local tourist attractions as possible, especially those who, like myself, have turned their farm enterprises into tourism attractions. That's the local the Celtic Crystal, where we get a glass cutting demonstration. And people normally end up going home with some wine glasses or whiskey glasses or chandeliers. Another attraction, which is local to my Cullen, is Connemara Marble. So we get a history tour there. And the famous Connemara Abbey, you can't pass that by. So at the Abbey, I would normally allow 3 hours there, and the guests can go and visit the wall gardens as well, and the gift shop along the way. Evening time at the farmhouse, I normally organise some evening activities. So this one here is a sip and paint class. You don't have to sip if you don't want to, but you do have to paint. So normally we work off some templates, some photographic templates. And you can see here, I think the lady on the left had never painted before, and most people come up with some lovely creations at the end of the night. Resolution isn't great on this photo, but this is some forest yoga or forest bathing. And we have a treatment room available with some, we have a local therapist who offers some lovely wellness treatments. They would need to be booked in advance of the trip. So we operate from May through to September. Prices vary. July and August would be our peak season. And included in our package, 7 nights accommodation. We include all food, all meals, all of the entrance fees to the guided tours are included, ground transportation during the trip. We have professional guides here, and we can offer, if people wanted individual lessons on their horses in their spare time, we can organise instruction in dressage and show jumping and cross country as well. And so all of our team of ponies are Irish bred. We do mix some of the Irish draft breed with some of our ponies for a little bit of extra height for the taller riders. And we pick up and drop off at the Galway City Tourist Office. So I've covered that. So we start at the end of April next year. Airfares aren't included, obviously, and insurance, tips, laundry services and expenses of personal nature would be extra. So this is the farmhouse. It sleeps 14 in total. There are 5 rooms, but usually my ideal group size would be either 8 or 10. And you can see the lake there in the background. We have a nice boat-shaped deck, and we have kayaking available locally, fishing, golf. Some of our customers may not want to ride for the whole week. They might want to get in around golf at a local championship golf course. That can all be arranged in advance. That's one of the bedrooms there. So it's your home away from home. The sitting area, kitchen area, and I think that's it.
Thank you so much, Coach. So interesting. You've really thought of everything in your experience. And I love how you visit all the local farmers as well there, the turf cutting and the sheep demonstration. It's a really, really unique product. I suppose it's just worth mentioning as well, you know, outside of the summer months, your peak season, when you're doing your 7-day experience, in the off season, you're open to maybe doing like a day or a 2-day and then one overnight. You know, there's more flexibility there.
Yes.
So you can do that. And I'm just wondering, how experienced would you have to be with horses or riding to do like maybe a day or two in the off season? Or
Yeah, well, for the riding experience, we would prefer if our customers have ridden before and would have a balanced seat. In other words, that they can sit, a walk, and a trot, and ideally a canter as well. But we do get quite a mixture of riders, even within the same group, and what we've learned to cope very well with that over the last number of years. A lot of the routes that we go on, we would have, say, trotting or cantering opportunities at certain points on the ride, and if we need to split up the ride to cater for what we call the beginner rider, we can do that. We would split up the group, and the others can enjoy a faster pace while the rest of us sightsee.
Okay, great. So just wondering, did anyone have a question there for Coach? If you wanted to unmute yourself there, or you can pop something in the question box there. Don't be shy.
Hi, Rose. I just want to...
Hi, Kathleen.
Hi, Kat. I just want to say that I know Cots for a long time. I knew her in a previous life, and she was my IT expert so, long time ago. But this is a fabulous, unique experience, and it really, we're so lucky to have this and to go through Connemara on a horseback. It's just beyond what she could describe it there. So well done, Cots, and having the accommodation, the whole package. It is a wonderful, wonderful experience.
Thanks, Kathleen.
Thank you, Kathleen. Yeah, definitely. Such a unique way to discover Connemara and learn about our traditions here in Ireland as well. And the beautiful landscape that you'll be covering, so really therapeutic, and again kind of hitting on the wellness theme here, all the things that you do with the out in nature all day, and your yoga in the forest, and then having your local food in the nighttime and your painting. I'd say that people feel like $1 million after a week with you out in Connemara, definitely.
They feel very tired too sometimes. It's a busy week.
It's a busy week, but it's good. Good. Anyone else with any questions there for Coach before we move on? No. Well, thanks so much, Coach. If there's anything else, we'll get in touch with regards questions. But as I said, we'll have Coach's presentation on our website, so you can go back and look again and get in touch with Coach direct if you have any questions. Thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Coach, Eileen and Mary, thanks so much. So next up, we're going to welcome Pádraig from Micil Distillery. Hi, Pádraig.
Good morning, Rose. Good morning, everyone.
How are you?
Liebe Martin, Gunstram will Quail Gagui, Agus Guten Morgen, go Hunawan or Light.
You're just showing off there now, Pádraig, with all your languages.
Unfortunately, that's where it ends. Just bilingual. It'd be great to have more, but anyway, you know, good to have two anyway.
Yeah, well, you're a great Irish speaker, being from Connemara, and you're going to tell us all about your family history and heritage and Micil Distillery and your poaching. So we're very excited to learn a bit more about that today.
Wonderful, and thanks a million for the opportunity. So if I'm good to go there, Rose, I'll start.
Yeah.
100%.
Go ahead.
So good morning, everyone. Very nice to meet some of you for the first time, I'm sure. I'm going to be playing a little video that encapsulates, I think, a lot of the key points about Micil Distillery, but just to start out by saying where we are. So we're based here in Salthill. We're in the Oslo Bar, just in case you're not familiar with us. We are the #1 food and drink experience in Galway. So we've only opened since 2018, which was a half season, and obviously everything was going great right up until 2020, but we won't dwell on that. Just want to introduce you to one little slide here. I'm going to do a screen share here, and hopefully it'll be visible. So just want to introduce you to, so everybody able to see my screen?
We can, Park, yeah.
Perfect. So you'll notice here a historical photograph there on the left-hand side, and that's my late grandfather, Jimmy Cara. And that is basically where our logo comes from. So if you look at the back wall there of our distillery in the tasting area, you know, that is basically where our logo comes from. So taken in 1947, and really it's very symbolic of everything, you know, in terms of what we do. We are distillers, so of course we are a visitor attraction, but you know, more important than that, we are distillers, so we make everything in-house here. So we have 2 poutine products, which I'm just going to introduce you to there briefly. Our classic poutine on the far right hand side, which is an unpeated poutine. It's made from malted barley and a local botanical called bog bean. And we also have in the middle there our heritage poutine, which is a peated poutine, and that's a mix of barley and oats. And notice that I'm not mentioning any potatoes, but you'll have to join us for a tour to learn why not. And just in one brief sentence, potatoes are not historically correct. On the left-hand side then we have our Micil Irish gin, which is an award-winning gin made with wildflowers and herbs that we hand pick in Connemara. And you'll be delighted to hear that we have not 1, not 2, but 3 new products coming to our portfolio this summer. And just going to stop screen sharing there. Oh yeah, I'll just stop screen sharing there for a sec. Oops. If I can. So 3 new products coming to our portfolio this year, this summer. We don't have the designs to show you just yet. They're kind of top secret until they actually come to market. So we have 2 independent whiskey bottlings coming to market, and we also have a poutine-based Irish cream liqueur, which is actually the world's first. So really exciting news this year. We've recently broke the news that we're Galway's first whiskey distillery in over 100 years. So we've started laying down whiskey, and we will announce a cask scheme in due course as well. So people will be able to buy a cask of whiskey from us. So it'll be a very limited run of casks. And of course, as part of the tour experiences, then we're going to be updating our tour experiences. We are going to be offering a poutine and whiskey experience. And as well as that, we're going to offer a separate gin experience. So before this, our experience was a poutine and gin experience, whereas now we're going to segment the tour offerings that way. I'm going to play a really short video. It's just under 2 minutes, so I think it'll hopefully tie a lot of these things together. So if you just bear with me a second, I will just pop that up on screen. And I suppose when we're ready then with the video, we can take some questions, but hopefully this is visible to everybody. Everybody able to see that? Is that okay, Rose?
Yeah, we can see it there, yeah.
Perfect. I was trying to embed it in the PowerPoint, but couldn't for whatever reason. But anyway, I'll just play this here. My name is Pádraig O'Delish, and I'm a 6th generation poutine distiller from Connemara. My family's been producing poutine on the shores of Galway Bay for over 170 years. We make our poutine the traditional way, a clear white spirit distilled from malted grain in small batches. Long before Ireland had whiskey, we had poutine, the original spirit of Ireland, our true national drink. Micil is named in honour of my great-great-great-grandfather, Micil Cara. He began distilling in 1848 on a hillside in Connemara. We've come a long way since then, but we've never forgotten where we came from. I'm the first one in my family to distill legally, and Micil Distillery is the first distillery in Galway in over 100 years. We distill now the same way we've always done, by hand and in small batches, using local botanicals and unique family recipes. We produce a range of poutine products made from 100% Irish grain, as well as our award-winning Micil gin. Every single bottle of spirit is produced right here in the distillery, crafted using family know-how and 6 generations of heritage. 100 years ago, Micil had a dream. Spirits made for the people, by the people. The real spirit of Ireland. Together we're keeping this dream alive. To all who support us, Garavina Mahabi. This is a story 170 years in the making. This is Micil. This is Ireland. Slantawa. So again, just to sort of just highlight key things there about the story, and you got a glimpse there as well in terms of our tasting area and visitor area, and just again to just give you a bit of an insight there. So just going to sort of mention a couple of key operational things as well. So pre-COVID, we would have taken up to 20 people on a tour. We hope that we can return to that in due course. And as well as that, we've plenty of flexibility in terms of booking. So, if you have groups and whatnot, we can actually, I suppose, do tours outside of our normal hours. Up until now, normal hours have been 2 p.m., 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. tours, operating Tuesday to Saturday. But of course, we would have done tours if they were, obviously, big enough and whatnot, outside of those days. So Sundays and Mondays as well. So basically 7 days, and we fully expect as well to be a 7-day distillery as well. We're open all year round typically. But again, we're just obviously waiting no more than a lot of others on clearance to open up there. So yeah, we do work with corporate and incentive groups as well. So again, lots of flexibility there to sort of cater to specific groups and premiumize it even further. So again, just to recap, poutine and whiskey tours will be one segment, and the other one then will be the gin tours. In terms of content, we are going to be tasting on the whiskey and poutine tours. You're going to get a welcome drink of our classic Micil poutine in a Micil mule. So it's like a Moscow mule, but with poutine, so it's a gorgeous drink. So you won't be waiting like on some distillery tours, you won't be waiting to get a drink. While the tour is ongoing, we will taste a further 3 spirits. We're going to delve then into our heritage poutine, which is a peated poutine, and then shortly afterwards we'll then taste our 2 new whiskies. So quite a lot of tasting on the poutine and whiskey tour. So and really kind of in depth, I suppose, in terms of the history around poutine whiskey, the production process, and you'll also get what we think are a few interesting anecdotes and stories. And of course, we'd always like to throw in a couple of mysterious poutine stories, and we'll let you work out the endings yourselves. Okay. So on the gin tours, then they're a bit more cocktail focused. So we're still developing the material there, but there you go. So I'll just open it up to yourselves in case you have any questions. You may or you may not. Maybe you don't have any because I've answered them all, or maybe you're just not interested, but hopefully you are. Okay. Thanks a million again for the opportunity, Rose, and hopefully everything was relatively clear there. So any questions there, folks, feel free to shout them out there.
Thanks so much, Pádraig. Lovely presentation.
Thank you very much.
Video and a lovely story going back generations in your family. And I love how you've honoured all of that and everything that you do in your branding and everything. It's really nice. And I can vouch for the poutine mule is fantastic there as part of the tour. Really, really nice. From a non-poutine drinker, it's definitely a lovely, refreshing drink actually. And as part of your visitor experience, people can purchase gifts from there. Your poutine is all readily available there.
Yes.
You're stocking it in some bars in Galway at the moment, are you, Pádraig?
Yeah, we are throughout Galway. Pretty much all the bars would be stocking our poutine and gin, and we'd also expect that they'd be very interested, of course, in the whiskies as well once they come out. And several retailers around, anywhere from McCaman's to your choice of supermarkets to online. So you can go to the likes of irishmalts.com, celticwhiskeyshop.com there as well, and they do deliver. So and watch out, I suppose, because Irish malts occasionally do sales, and you could grab a decent deal there.
Great. Dara, you have your hand up there. Did you want to ask Park?
Yeah, just a quick question. I mean, well done everyone this morning, and Rose in particular to yourself. Thanks for coordinating these the last 6 weeks. It's been really, really good. I think for all of us and even our teams in the hotels, it's a great way to actually see some of the products without in a short space of time. But Park, just a quick question for you, I suppose, just with the groups now and the way we are, is there a minimum number of people that you'll take in the distillery?
Is there, sorry, Dara, what was that question again?
Just with with your tours, is there a minimum number of people that you'll run a tour?
If it's look, not really. I suppose we have ideal sort of numbers there, but no minimum as such. Like, if there's one person who wants to do a tour, then it's kind of, to be honest, like you're looking at a private tour there. But if it's running alongside if it's a public tour, then they just join a public tour. Okay. And generally speaking, what we find is, particularly in peak season, that it's actually difficult to get a spot. But normally in that instance, if it's only 1 or 2 people, they just join a public tour. But if you have a group of 4, 6, 8 people and they want the space themselves, then it's a private tour. If they don't really want that, then they can join an existing public tour. So there's no minimum numbers as such, but I wouldn't recommend someone taking out a private tour for one as such. It's just a better atmosphere, I find, with at least 4, 5, 6, that kind of thing. There's just better crack out of people, But again, we're flexible around that. Yeah, we don't want we haven't really seen this in quite a long time anyway, where you'd have 1 or 2 people. So again, we try to avoid that.
Very good. Well done, and well done everyone today on the presentation, and every success to everybody as we reopen as well for the season ahead. So thanks again, Rose.
Thanks, Dara.
Una, hello.
Just a quick one. I think I was very bold. I think I snuck off to put the kettle on, and I missed where where Micil is actually located. And so my 2 questions: where exactly are you, and how long would a tour take?
Great questions, Una, and nice to meet you. So we're based in Salthill, the Oslo Bar to be exact. So you'll go through the Oslo Bar to get to us. Tours typically last, the old tour would have lasted 1 hour and 20 minutes or so, whereas we anticipate the new whiskey tour and the gin tours to be approximately 1 hour and a half.
And another question, which I probably know the answer to, but sometimes when we have the incentive groups in the good times, and hopefully when they're all back next year with visual luck, we do these, like what we call the off-site, like we would sometimes have Bailey's tasting workshops. Will you come on site, say to Ashford or wherever there might be a group, Absolutely. And do like a little kind of almost like a little workshop tasting at one of the events?
Absolutely, very open to that. Obviously, depending on all the T's and C's involved, but yeah, in principle, absolutely, we'll work to agree a deal, and we'll make it a win-win for everyone.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. And Rose, to everybody, like Dara said, I haven't always been able to watch the whole thing live, but I go back. It's great getting the recordings afterwards, and it's just wonderful to see what's going on. And I think in particular, God, wouldn't we I'd love to get a helicopter over to the Aran Islands today or something, or no, sorry, I'd like to get on the ferry. Sorry about that. But no, it's been really great, the different sessions, and to see what you're all doing, and my full respect to everybody hanging in there. We don't see on the kind of corporate side of things, unless some of the Americans come back in September, October. I know it's going to be maybe next year, but a lot of these activities, like the horse wellness thing, for the off-site, sign-up activities for smaller groups, are wonderful, wonderful ideas. And I just hope you all keep going. And thanks again for arranging this for us lot. So that's it. Over and out from me.
Thanks so much, Una. More than welcome, and our pleasure to do this. Park, there's some lovely comments there in the chat box for you, and there's some Gaeilge again. I'm not going to attempt to translate it. I can only partial translate it, but the gist is they're congratulating you and saying very well done. So you can have a look at those. So, and then Kosh wants to include you in her horse tour, Coach? I'm not sure how the horses would take to Salt Hill. Is there much where you can tie your horse up there? He might have to come to you.
Pádraig's spudging might be better than the one I make.
Okay, so anyone else with a question there for Pádraig? No, that's it. Okay, guys, well, listen, thank you so much for joining us again this week.